The grant doesn't pay for services, only materials, which means volunteers are needed to help tomorrow morning at 10:30. Bring your own shovel and gloves. Any additional machine equipment that could also help get the job done quicker would be greatly appreciated. Get your volunteer hours in this Saturday and enjoy hot dogs and drinks when the project is completed. As Election Day draws closer, remember, write in votes. For them to count, the candidate must be an official candidate. Only those individuals are counted. No matter how many votes Mickey Mouse receives, he didn't file timely to be an official write-in. If you vote for a candidate on the write-in list, their name must be written in and the oval filled. If both are not done, the vote will not count under Arizona law. Full instructions are printed at the top of your ballot. If your candidate's name is already printed on the ballot, vote for them by filling in the oval to the left of their name. Don't vote for them and write them in, as it could be an overvote and not count. And U.S. Border Patrol agents assigned to the Brian A. Terry station arrested Ariel James Martinez near Naco. The previously removed Mexican citizen is a registered sex offender convicted of felony second-degree sexual assault of a child in Texas. He is now facing additional criminal charges. Ken Robinson, Town Square Media News.
First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your Sheriff's Office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, let's start off with Cochise County football.
Yes, we'll be in Buena tonight. Buena is hosting the Marana Mountain View Lions. They'll be coming down. Marana 2-4 team. Always been a competitive. It's an in-conference game tonight with Buena. Buena sitting at 4-2. Sadly, though, and it goes back to the strength of schedule, Buena sits at number 30. Marana sits at number 31, I believe it is. So two bottom-of-the-scale teams playing, but Buena needs this win. They truly need it. They need the folks to come out and cheer them on tonight, because if they can win out, they still have a possibility of pulling enough points to go back up into the rankings, make top 16 in the state. So we will see what happens. Right now they're sitting at number 30. They dropped quite a bit with that big loss last week. So we'll be cheering them on tonight on the radio and see if we can get them a win tonight.
And remember that you can catch that game tonight right here on KWCD. It's pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock, and Sheriff calls the game along with Jeff Davenport. So we look forward to hearing you tonight in the game.
Wow, we're looking forward to it. Hope you come out and tune in tonight.
All right, well, let's see what we've got going on. Yesterday you had a meeting with, you call it the TAG meeting. Tell us about that.
Our TAG meeting is something we put together about 8 months ago. It's Team Advisory Group, where members of the Sheriff's Office, from our support staff, civilian staff, volunteers, detention, and also patrol, come together, and these are the frontline folks in the Sheriff's Office, the ones who do it every day, make it happen. I sit down with them once a month and talk to them about operational issues. What can we do better for them? What do they need? What are we missing? So we had about a 2-hour meeting yesterday, and really good. I really enjoyed meeting with our frontline people. I mean, because they're the ones out there every day making. They built the reputation of this office. They really do, and I want to make sure they're recognized when it comes to growing the Sheriff's Office into the future and having them on board with that.
And so some external things that are going on. We also have had some busy times, and I think it's just going to get busier, I tell you.
It's been very busy.
So you did Relay for Life last week.
No, that's this week.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did the Bisbee 1000.
Yes.
So you see, there's so many things.
Yeah,
Bisbee 1000. I should have remembered because of the starter pistol. So Bisbee 1000. There were a lot of people there.
1,500 people, I believe it was. That there was like 6 different races that we kicked off, 5 or 6, whatever it was. But I was really happy this year. I get the honor of doing the starting pistol. 2 years ago, the starting pistol didn't go off. And so they all looked at me, and I looked at them. I go, 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 go. So this year, very fortunate, the starting pistol worked. I was very excited. So.
And you didn't take out your regular duty sidearm and do that, right, when it didn't work?
No, there was a thought, but no, I did not. Better judgment prevailed. But it was funny. I was sitting there, and the judge was sitting next to me, one of the judges in the county. I won't say who. And I said, Judge, help me load this gun, because we're getting ready for another. There was a time between each race. And he looked at me and I said, Judge, we're in the West. It's okay. You can help me load a gun. This is all right. You're a judge. It's a Western judge. So in the East, well, I don't know about that, but the West. So it was a good race. And Bisbee 1000, that money goes toward nonprofits and helps community. So, again, very successful. Cynthia, nice job again.
And so Relay for Life is tomorrow.
Relay for Life tomorrow. starts at noon at Veterans Parks, goes to 10 o'clock at night. They have stuff all day. I will be hitting the stage around 3 o'clock with Jeff Davenport till 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So at 9 o'clock, if we look a little tired, that might be a reason. It's been a long weekend. I got an event at 7:30 in the morning, so it's going to be a long weekend. Then we got El Dorado Sunday, the parade. And that parade's is 11 o'clock, isn't it?
It is.
So 11 o'clock in Tombstone. So I'll be there Sunday, spend some time in Tombstone. So it's going to be a busy, busy weekend.
Today is the final jail district committee meeting, and they're there for a couple of reasons. One is to maybe put forward that there's going to be a jail district, and two, they could say that we are going to rebuild or construct a brand new jail, and today's the final meeting for that.
It is at 9 o'clock this morning. You can tune into those. Go to the Cochise County Board of Supervisors. You'll see the agenda, see the link. You can jump onto that. But today, from 9 o'clock to 11, there will be an operational meeting, last one of its kind for our community outreach group. And then at 11 o'clock, it goes into a secondary meeting to where they'll make that decision like you're talking, Grady. And I want to thank you, Grady. You've been our point over there at the board. But you and Commander Bradshaw both doing a very good job on that. But it's been very productive. I expect good things today. They'll vote at 11 o'clock. I don't see any other way but a rebuild. Listen, I know people are like, hey, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I get it. But you've got 40 years of service out of this jail. Let's be real. I mean, it is time. This is a necessity. It's the hub of the criminal justice system, and we got to modernize it. 40 years ago, think about that, and where we're at today. So many things have changed to include jails. So I believe today it'll go forward, and then on November 15th, we'll be in front of the Board of Supervisors to address a jail district.
And also, if you want input, there's a public way you can do that. First of all, you can watch the meetings. You can also go to the Sheriff's Facebook page, and there is a QR code that allow you to give some input or feedback or your ideas on this entire issue as well. Plus, you can watch all of the past meetings. You can really get your information here, because coming up, we could be going to a vote even.
Yeah, we're looking for a special election next May of 2023, reference this jail. And it's a voter initiative. So, again, that's the path where we're headed. I mean, and the public will decide, is it time after 40 years to put a new facility in place. And again, this is a costly, jails aren't like putting up a warehouse. This is a very costly, it's $92 million, and that was about 8 months ago. So it kind of tells you cost might have gone down a little bit. I don't know. Inflation's still pretty high. I don't know where that's going to be. But either way, it's going to be quite costly. We know that. But again, if you ever have somebody put in jail, a loved one, a friend, I mean, it happens to all of us, bottom line. So you want to be in the best place it can be, in all fairness.
And so yesterday you met with General Hale and some community leaders about Fort Huachuca, and they talked about all kinds of things, other than the community-wide yard sale that's going to be this weekend. I just want everybody to know.
On Fort Huachuca?
On Fort Huachuca. Like, all the communities get together, and they have just like a massive yard sale. But that's not what you talked about. Sorry.
Actually, let's go back to that.
Yes.
That's fun, yeah.
I was going to say, I love yard sales. But, and many people that know me say, he's been at our yard sale. Sheriff's been there. But, no, let me just applaud General Hale. I mean, he got extended for an extra year. So normally it's 2 years. Our generals come and go. He got it extended for a year, which we think is very good. He's been awesome to outreach with the community. He is. His groups that he meets with are from education, law enforcement, business, from the mayor's service, Rich Carwash from the county administrator for Cochise County. We all go together, meet up there, and we talk about their outreach. What is the fort doing? What's the status of their training? You name it. We talk about current things. One of the things we talked about yesterday in some depth was the border impact. What's going on the border, and that affects all of us, whether you're a hospital CEO, whether you're a business. Fort Huachuca, it's real to us here, and how we balance that and address that is so important to all of us, because we all have a different lens on that, because we're looking at different lenses based on our personal positions. So again, it was a very good meeting. Thank you for General Hale, Colonel Ives, everybody up there that just put that together and just brings us all together.
And you did some border updates for them, so why don't you give us a border update here?
Well, it's busy. Another busy week here in Cochise County. We hit, sadly I say, we booked 1,016 people into our jail since January 1st of this year for border-related crimes. We've investigated over 700 smuggling events during our Safe Street operations, 144 fair to yields. I mean, you name it, we're addressing it, and it's not a good thing. when it comes to the traffic we're seeing. One of my traffic stops this week was a result of, an individual smuggling on probation for stolen vehicles. Lo and behold, the vehicle was reported stolen too, that he was in, and that was just a couple nights ago when I made that stop. So my team out there, my new criminal interdiction team, my border team, I mean, they're just working their butts off, and I commend them. My deputies out there, our detention folks that are dealing with a very heavy load in the jail right now with everything going on. I commend those officers over to jail. I mean, everybody is coming together to help protect this community, and we'll continue to do that, looking for that balance, Grady.
And yesterday we had a post about Operation Safe Streets, and we turned over the driver to Border Patrol, and so people started asking the question. I thought we were arresting them, but in this case, the person was not hiding the illegal. So if you could clarify that law for us.
Kind of unique on this law. And if you're sitting up in the vehicle, so say you pick up 3 and you're in the back seat, you're sitting up like a normal passenger, seat belts on, front passenger sitting up, and there's no concealment, there is no crime. And so that's why. So that's why Border Patrol took them. Now, I'm not saying Border Patrol didn't charge them for smuggling, but for us to enforce our law, the new smuggling law, and since September 28th till yesterday, we had arrested 43 smugglers on that new law, and that's a Class 2 felony. So when people say, hey, what's the sheriff's doing, what's the sheriff's office doing, what's DPS doing, Service PD, all the local agencies, we are doing our part. We are truly doing our part. I want to thank you, Brian McIntyre, for his office, for prosecuting them, stepping up and doing what is right based on the new state law here in Arizona, which states, let me clarify if people haven't heard that, if you're smuggling for profit, if you're smuggling children, females, males, it doesn't matter, and you're concealing them to smuggle for profit, we can charge you. And again, we are doing that. I mean, we're not turning our heads, folks.
And part of the border initiative also is receiving funding, which we did for a border building. So we have an update on that one.
We do. We got the contract last week for $5 million to buy a building to set up a collective regional border operations center. It'll have special ops, it'll have human trafficking, intel, camera room. I mean, you name it, it'll go in this room. First of its kind anywhere along the southwest border. We're really excited about that. Thank you, Governor Ducey. Thank you to the state lawmakers on that, Gail, Dave, and Loopy for that here locally. So now we're moving forward. It'll go in front of the board to accept the funds. They got to accept contracts. I don't have that authority as a sheriff. And again, it puts us under a one-stop shop for border operations. So we'll be looking for a facility or building. This will be up to, we've been working with the county administrator. Him and I have been going back and forth on different ideas. And so we'll come up with an idea here real soon. And we're looking for some buildings here in town, too.
Coming up, it's time to vote, and some of the deadlines for setting up when you can vote, where to vote, some of those have passed, but also some of them are still available, but we're going to be voting next month.
So the last day to request a ballot by mail is going to be the 28th. You know, we're almost there, so make sure if you're going to get a ballot by mail, you have to do it by the 28th, and then you have to mail it back by November 1st. And the last day to vote in person
will be November 4th. That'll be the big day. So November 4th, please make your vote count. And I say this, continue to say this, get out and know your candidates. In fact, call them. Call them. I mean, when I run for sheriff, people call me and say, Sheriff, can I ask you? You bet you can ask me. You bet. And you're not always going to agree with everybody. But what do they stand for? Are they standing up for your kids in school? Are they standing up for the rule of law and law enforcement? What do they stand for? And so border security is a big one. I'd ask people, you live here in the county, elect candidates that believe in border security. A secure border is so important to us here. It enhances that quality of life. So questions to ask, but know your candidates and go out and vote. Most important.
Be an informed voter.
Yes.
All right, well, the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride is also coming up, and it's time to get your tickets.
A couple weeks away.
I know.
November 5th, Saturday. So, again, it's for Jeeps, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and we have all variations of that. Let me just say that. That's the 3 categories. But we're giving out $100,000. I've heard the commercial the other day, too, on that. Thank you, Grady.
You bet.
But so we're very, very excited. Again, thanks to American Southwest Credit Union, Lawley Automotive Group for their partnership in this, and there's so many sponsors that we'll get out there here real soon to give out $100,000 to 10 different local charities. They each receive $10,000. Pretty exciting.
And come on out, seriously, because even if you're not going to go on the ride, we have the raffle. And I got a picture yesterday that we're going to post up there. It's a semi. I'm not kidding. It's a flatbed semi that has the raffle prizes on it. That's
Wow.
a lot. I mean,
Yes.
it's a lot.
Yeah, $25,000 plus or minus. So,
Minimum. I think it's more than that now.
yeah, just raffle prizes that we're going to give away. And you're probably saying, these are not your tax dollars being used. These are charities, community businesses coming together saying, hey, let's put this on, let's support this great cause, and let's donate. There are no administrative fees by the sheriff. We don't hold the money back and pay our people. It's all 100% in, 100% back out, and thanks to the credit union, American Southwest, and Sean Lawley and team over there, Bob, we give that money right back out.
You can get your tickets right now to support the charity ride by going to cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride. And if that you can write that down, you can just Google the Cochise County Sheriff Charity Ride and go get your tickets today.
Should be a fun trip.
All right. Well, also we've got your stop of the week, or your safety message. Which one are you going to give us today?
Well, let me start with the stop of the week, which goes right into my safety message.
Okay.
Yesterday, I was at Foothills of 92, and if the person that's riding the bike hears this, yes, I addressed that for you, but I'm sitting there waiting for the light to change, and car coming off Foothills Drive onto Highway 92 going north failed to yield for a person in the crosswalk. In fact, she almost hit her. So, person on coming through the crosswalk, I was very upset. I did a U-turn, turned my lights on, stopped the car, and the driver had a couple things going on in her personal life that she was sharing with me, that why she's not paying attention, which I kindly reminded her that she shouldn't be driving in. But the safety message is you have to respect people in crosswalks. You can't blow by them. You can't get upset with them. They have a right to be in the crosswalk. As long as it's, they have the light that says cross, you got to yield to them. That is a huge, huge offense. Some states, you have to wait till they clear the whole crosswalk. Arizona, you don't. But you still have to be reasonable, and you can't, just miss them. Say, okay, I can get by them now. No. If you hit them, you're in serious trouble, and that's a serious violation. So, again, I remind everybody, let's respect our crosswalks. Sometimes I think we forget. You look at Tucson, for example. They've had some of the highest pedestrian accidents in the state. A lot of people, because they don't use crosswalks. And I'll add on to that, too, is you have to be in a crosswalk. You can't cross the highway just in the middle of it. Find a crosswalk where it's reasonable, and you got to be in that, too. So there's two sides of that. One, be in the crosswalk. Number two is we have to yield to them when they, you have to yield to them either way. You just can't run somebody over. So let's say they're going to cross a crosswalk against the little man that says stop. You still can't run them over. Okay, let's be reasonable. So, again, be careful people in crosswalks, folks. Let's all be safe.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Grady, thank you. Carol, thank you. Hope you tune in tonight for Buena and Marana Mountain View tonight. Thank you, everyone.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have one of our charity ride recipients from
Heroes Healing Heroes Outdoors.
All right.
First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
In 1940, when SSVEC flipped a switch to start the
This message brought to you by Dr. Alan Kawakami and the good folks at Samurai Smiles and Samurai Sleep.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And so thank you so much for being here and being a recipient of the Cochise County 10th Annual Charity Ride.
Yeah.
So we have Gary Linendahl.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, I've been part of that in one way or another for the last 10 years, volunteering, whatever, and so it's good to be on this end again.
Yes.
So we appreciate that, and we're happy for the opportunity to be here.
And the Heroes Healing Heroes Outdoors is your charity. Tell us what that is.
Correct. Well, we started out in 2016 as a hunting foundation. Heroes Healing Heroes Hunting Foundation is what we were initially developed as. It wasn't very long before we realized we had a much broader audience from our disabled vets and law enforcement, first responders. So we expanded that, and that's what we're in the process of doing now. So that is kind of where we got to, and I know the question was going to come up about the funding. To make this transition, when we're just a hunting foundation, most of us used our own equipment, and if the veterans or the law enforcement folks didn't have theirs, we just used our own stuff. But now that we've branched out into outdoors, just in general, we're doing fishing, we're doing ATV rides, we've got some family days planned for this coming year, so that takes more equipment. So a lot of what the money will go for is to help us expand our reach.
And what kind of services do you offer to the veterans and the law enforcement as people may not understand what your organization does? What do you physically do with them?
Okay. We have through our website and Facebook page, we have the ability for our clients or future clients to apply, and we find out what the disability is, what it is that we need to be doing for them. Some we just say, hey, even if they're not disabled, we're going to help them, but we're not going to help them using donated funds. We'll just go out, and if they have a CHAMP pass, which is a pass that they get from Arizona Game and Fish Department to shoot from the vehicle and things like that, we don't have to be with them when they do that, but they've got our number. We will come out, help them recover an animal, do whatever. We also get donated tags from Arizona Game and Fish because we are a nonprofit, and those are extremely popular, especially the elk tags. And we usually get one or two of those a year that we can pass on to our vets and other clients.
Well, how can the community that's listening right now help your organization?
Big help right now is money, and we're getting that, thankfully, from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, because we are expanding our equipment, our inventory, to be able to do these other things. But we need volunteers. We absolutely need volunteers. We reorganized this year. We started back in 2016, like I said, and worked our way through. And up until about 2018, the beginning of 2019, we had done, just a handful of us had done over 50, I refer to them as clients, but disabled vets and whatnot. We reorganized. I got elected by probably by default. So as I knew that was going to happen, I got a great staff, and my staff, I got to take just a minute and speak of them. I've got Chris Sterner as my vice president. Great leadership, great guy. My Randy Oliver is my treasurer. Sherry Linendahl, you probably know. She's our secretary. Then Scott Hadfield, Bob Ford, Craig McCorkle, and my son Todd Linendahl are on the board. And basically, this group is what keeps us going. It's not me. It is them for sure. And they're doers. And so we have got new website, a more updated website. We've got a new updated Facebook page, and you can find those on either place by going to Heroes Healing Heroes Outdoors. And now there's a lot of healing heroes outdoors, but but they have just one or two words that'll be different. So when you go in, you may see a list, but just look for H3O. As I say, just a little bit better than water. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of where we're at, what we need the money for, and what our plans are right now is to just continue and expand. We now have more clients than we do volunteers by far. So yeah, if anyone out there is willing to come and help in any way, either to camping day or taking someone fishing or going with us on a hunt. We like to have at least 2 people when we go out on a hunt or something like that. Typically we try to have more, but at least 2, just for safety and whatnot.
Well, we thank you for coming and talking to us today, and we thank you for being a charity ride recipient. And I'm glad we're going to be able to help out your organization.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and thanks to the sheriff and my good team and all the folks out there that have volunteered for us and that have made donations on their own. It's greatly appreciated.
And if you want to help out, you can get your tickets today. Go to cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride, or you can simply Google the Cochise County Sheriff Charity Ride, and that's one of the many recipients of 10 that you're going to be helping out. So thanks for coming and talking to us today, Gary.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Eva from the Salvation Army.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
This just in, the story of who really owns your electric company.
others. Put your cell phones down. Save a life.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
Brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much, Eva McElroy, for being here from the Salvation Army.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you have an event coming tomorrow.
In
I'm
2
sorry,
weeks.
I'm having a problem with that. My gosh.
5 November.
In 5 November. It's because
Yes,
5
ma'am.
November is going to be crazy busy. But yes,
It
on
is.
5 November it's going to be Victory Over Addiction. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit about what that is and what's going to be happening.
Great. This is going to be an event for anyone looking for resources to combat addiction. And this is to bring awareness to the community that addiction is real. And the most exciting part about what we're doing is giving people hope. That there's hope for recovery. There's hope in recovery. There's people who have been in the darkness of addiction and they've come through it and successfully. So we're excited to let people know there's no shame. It's just love. And we really want to spread that word.
So you have people that are there to offer assistance by sharing their stories and by sharing information?
True. We're going to have at least 20 of our local nonprofits within the community that all do a little bit different things. And we want people to know what those resources are, but we're also going to share some stories. We're going to have a few guest speakers, but we want people to know, to be able to look at someone and connect and say, wow, you've been through what I'm going through, and you look at you now. You're successful, and you're happy, and you're healthy. So we want to put those stories out there.
Give us an idea of what kind of resources are going to be offered.
Well, we're going to have, again, all of our nonprofits in the area. There are several halfway houses in the area that are specific to men and specific to women. There's also going to be mental health advisors. There are going to be peer counselors. There are going to be many agencies that have a lot of education on what drugs are, what they look like, how you can be approached by it, and maybe not even know that you're being approached by someone who wants to sell you drugs. It's a scary thing that I'm learning more and more about all the time.
So where and when is this going to be?
5 November at the Salvation Army on the West End, 180 East Wilcox Drive at our community center. And we'll be starting about 8 o'clock, and people can come in. And if they register ahead of time, we'll have T-shirts, and then we're going to do a walk down to 7th Street and back, again, just to raise awareness in the community.
And how can they register?
There is a QR code on all of our flyers, and it's also on Facebook under Victory Over Addiction.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about upcoming event, because you guys are going to start ringing the bell pretty soon. You even brought a bell. Hang on, there you go. That'll be coming up pretty soon. So we'll be looking for you guys out starting after Thanksgiving?
Yes, sir. Black Friday, as a matter of fact, the Sheriff's Department always steps up, and it's the first one on that Friday at Walmart. It will be starting. So if anyone wants to sign up right now, get their favorite places, their favorite times, they can call me, they can text me, they can email me, and we'll get set up. And that is our fundraiser for the Salvation Army for the entire year. That's how we keep our lights on, keep our programs going. And our programs, I'd like to segue into that, are to benefit our community members. They're at no cost to our folks. It's a safe place to come. We have paint night, we have bingo night, we have different events going on for the public. That we just want to serve the people.
All right, well, we thank you for what you do in our community. It's very important. So invite everybody out to your November 5th meeting one more time.
Victory Over Addiction, November 5th, 8 o'clock in the morning. Please come out and join us. We will have T-shirts, we'll have snacks, we'll have beverages, and we'll have lots of resources to help anyone struggling with addiction or with loved ones struggling with addiction.
And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So reach out at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels. That'll be our social media site for Facebook. We have our links there for Twitter and Instagram. You can also take a look at our webpage, cochise.az.gov/sheriff. Take a look.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.
In 19